I've just had a major personal breakthrough by doing something that is totally out of character for me. I shut my mouth trap. How did I do this? By asking myself 3 questions that comedian and actor Craig Ferguson suggests to strengthen and preserve relationships. I tell you, it's genius, and you too can use it personally and professionally. Hey everyone, I'm Laverne McKinnon, and welcome to the Moonshot Mentor podcast. I'm a certified career coach and grief recovery specialist. I love to help ambitious, driven people feel confident, empowered, and excited after experiencing a career setback. Whether it's from feeling stuck in a tough period or frustration from slow progress, I offer up tools and resources to revamp your path to career success. Okay. Before I tell you what the 3 questions are, I'm going to share with you what happened that led me to Craig Ferguson's genius. So my husband Chuck and I were running errands, Trader Joe's, CVS, Kinko's, and then picking up chicken kabob pita sandwiches from Amir's Falafel in Studio City. Since all 4 places were within walking distance, we parked the car in the Kinko's lot and then divided up the jobs. I took CVS, which was super easy and fast, and Trader Joe's because I'm really particular about our binge snacks, and I don't always trust Chuck to pick up the specific movie theater popcorn supply that I like. Chuck took Kinko's, and then we planned to go together to Amir's. After my 2 errands, I circled back to put the packages in the trunk of the car and to see if I could help Chuck at Kinko's or if I should head to Amir's alone. Now, when I got to the parking lot, I noticed that both the car and the headlights were left on. Yikes! Well, I've certainly forgotten to turn off the lights, and even sometimes the car itself. I was still really annoyed at Chuck, and I was super eager to tell him all about the mistake that he had made. Now, this is when Craig Ferguson came in to save me from myself. He has this great bit in which he suggests asking 3 questions before saying anything, especially to someone that you care about. 1. Does this need to be said? 2. Does this need to be said by me? 3. Does this need to be said by me right now? If you want to watch the full special where he does the entire bit, it's available on YouTube. You just have to Google Craig Ferguson, does this need to be said? Fun fact, it's a project that I actually acquired when I was head of programming at Epix. So this is where I had the breakthrough. Really, it's a triple breakthrough because I'm an overachiever. As I was skipping up the steps to Kinko's to let my husband know how he had left the car on, I was able to pause. Something in my body felt a little too gleeful and pompous, and it raised a red flag. So, quick side note, I've been practicing listening to my body ever since I fainted a few months ago, and it's really helped me care for myself better. And these feelings of arrogance were a clue that something was misaligned. I'm really proud of myself for noticing this. So this led to the second breakthrough. I remembered Ferguson's bit, yay me. By pausing long enough to listen to my body, my brain kicked into high gear to give me a clue as to how to proceed. And this is how it answered the 3 questions. Does this need to be said? Maybe. Does this need to be said by me? Perhaps. Does this need to be said by me right now? No. Now, some of you might be thinking that it's important that Chuck knows he left the car on because it will stop him from leaving it on in the future. Also, the battery could have been run out and the car would need a bump or a tow. There's also burning gas and wasting energy. And worst case scenario, the car could have been stolen. Now, when I went through the checklist and came to the conclusion that I did not need to tell Chuck of this mistake in the moment, I also needed to check that I wasn't letting a gremlin make a choice for me. One of the challenges in my relationship with Chuck is that I over-index on valuing harmony to avoid conflict. So I frequently said or not said things to preserve the peace of our relationship. So in taking a longer pause, I felt confident that a gremlin was not at work. It felt like I was making a choice not to sweat the small stuff and to step into partnership in a more wholehearted way. I actually could have my partner's back without giving myself a medal. And that's when I had my 3rd aha moment. As a recovering perfectionist and people pleaser, I'm constantly looking for ways to be validated. And that's what would have been motivating me to tell Chuck what I had discovered and how I had fixed it, and maybe even a little hint of how he needs me. What is it about me and other people that we are driven to let someone know that we have spotted their mistake? For me, I think it's wanting to be right and to receive validation. It gives me a sense of superiority and proof that I'm capable. Honestly, I've noticed this with other folks as well when they give unsolicited feedback. There's a complicated sense of, I want to help and support you, and a judgy sense of, you're wrong. So what's the price of telling someone they're making a mistake? It's actually quite costly. By pointing out other people's mistakes, it can alienate someone that you care about. It can cause irreparable friction and tension. It could actually send them in the wrong direction because you're not paying attention to their values and what's important to them. It could make someone feel shamed and judged as opposed to empowered. So while this isn't a workplace story, I do believe asking yourself Ferguson's 3 questions will help you in long-term career success. Pointing out someone else's mistake without an explicit request is a recipe for a career setback. It's important to get real with yourself about why you may find it hard to resist chiming in. Understanding your motivation will help you determine whether you're honoring a value or actually listening to a gremlin voice. If you truly want to support someone in their growth, ask them how you can be of assistance. To wrap up this personal story, I never told Chuck about leaving the car on until I asked him to proof this blog. I did go to Amir's to get chicken kabob pita sandwiches while he finished up at Kinko's, and we wound up having a lovely dinner at home with our sandwiches, and I know I made a good decision because I tried something new. There will definitely be times in the future where I point something out to my husband if I truly believe it will impact our well-being, and I invite him to do the same. But realistically, I'd say 99 times out of 100, this thing I want to say does not need to be said by me and right now. Okay, to bottom line, and to wrap this all up, here are my six key takeaways from what was supposed to be a mundane afternoon of running errands. 1, the power of pause. By taking a moment to pause and reflect before reacting, we can avoid unnecessary conflict and deepen our understanding of ourselves and others. 2, empathy over ego. Choosing empathy over the need to be right allows for deeper connection and understanding in relationships. 3, partnership. Prioritizing partnership and relationships can lead to greater fulfillment and growth, even if it means letting go of the need to be always in control or correct, and also releasing the need to get a medal for being a good partner. 4, validation and vulnerability. Recognizing our own tendencies to seek validation through correcting others' mistakes can lead to greater self-awareness and authenticity. 5, the price of criticism. Pointing out others' mistakes without consideration can damage relationships and hinder personal and professional growth. 6, the wisdom of timing. Knowing when to speak up and when to remain silent requires discernment and can lead to more effective communication and healthier relationships. It's important to remember to practice mindfulness, empathy, and vulnerability in your personal and professional interactions. It will ultimately foster deeper connections and personal growth. So that's it for today. Head over to Moonshot Mentor on Substack for journal prompts to help you use Craig Ferguson's questions effectively. Let me know how it goes and whether these questions and Craig Ferguson's questions are resonating for you. Visit me at moonshotmentor.com where you can find links to all my social and how to work with me. And a very big thank you to Lynn Chen for the video and audio editing. You can find her on social at Ms. Lynn Chen. And if you are enjoying what you're hearing, I would so appreciate if you could subscribe to my podcast, as it will help me achieve my moonshot of 5,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next week.